You're watching TVC, Travers Visitors Channel. I'm at Minerva's with Colleen Pavelio, Marketing Director for the Downtown Development Authority. She's here to tell us about an exciting event coming to Traverse City, the third annual Traverse City Restaurant Week. It runs from Sunday, February 24th through Saturday, March 2nd. With 27 restaurants participating this year, there's sure to be something for everyone. Colleen, what can visitors and locals alike expect from this year's Restaurant Week?
Well, like you said, we're in our third restaurant week. We're really excited, and the whole point of the event is really to promote all of the Epicurean offerings that we have here in Traverse City. We will be offering, all of the 27 restaurants will be offering 3-course dinner menus for $25 per person. That does not include beverages and taxes, but it's going to be a great night, and it's a great way to get out and enjoy your favorite restaurant, try a new restaurant, and I think I'll probably be going to 3 or 4 restaurants that week.
Sounds good. Now, is each restaurant offering several different options with each course?
It really varies. We do have the menus on the downtown website, so that's downtowntc.com. You can view all of the menus in advance and kind of choose where you want to go. A lot of the restaurants will have multiple choices for each course. For example, Phil's is going to be offering their whole menu that week, and you can just pick 3 things off the menu for the $25. So it really varies what the different restaurants will be offering, but there are some very nice offerings out there.
Are reservations recommended?
Absolutely. We definitely recommend reservations. I know that a lot of restaurants filled up just in the first 2 years. So I know that reservations are already coming in now, so we definitely encourage you to make reservations in advance.
Where can people go if they need to get more information about the Restaurant Week?
All of the information will be on the Downtown Traverse City website. That's again downtowntc.com. You can see all 27 restaurants that are on board, as well as you can view all of their menus. There are their phone numbers and their websites on there too, so it makes it a really simple place to find out all of the information, and then also you can make your reservation.
Great. Thanks, Colleen.
The way we look at it is it's a way to say thank you to the community that supported us throughout the year. I mean, there's so many great independent restaurants in the Traverse City area, and so many of them are participating, providing a 3-course menu for $25.
We're really excited for Restaurant Week because we're a new restaurant, and we think it'll give people an opportunity to come in and try us out who haven't been here before.
If you want to sample some of the culinary wonders of the region, make sure to check out the 3rd annual Traverse City Restaurant Week. Bon appetit! You're watching TVC, Travers Visitors Channel.
When was the last time you saw one of these? That's right, it's a smile. A Treetop smile. Safe, close, affordable fun all this winter at Treetops. Warm and friendly, entertaining, everything you could want for family fun. Overnight ski packages start at just $79 per person. Includes lodging, lift tickets, and a big old breakfast. So come and see us this winter. Treetops, Michigan's most spectacular resort. It's pure Michigan.
Snow in the forecast? Nothing to worry about when you're a Subaru owner because Subaru's just plain own winter. Drive a new Legacy for just $199 a month. Forester, just $229 a month. Outback, just $267 a month. Or the all-new Crosstrek, just $249 a month. Great prices, great gas mileage, great all-wheel drive control for whatever the weather may bring. Cherry Capital Subaru, South Garfield, Traverse City, or cherrycapitalsubaru.com.
You'll love your new car.
We've got some Slush Cup girls here. Are you guys going to do this? Have you done this before?
No, first year.
Have you done this before?
No.
What do you think the strategy is here?
Leaning back and try to keep your skis up. Probably the best
Did you do that?
No, didn't work very good.
Expect to fall in?
Yeah.
Nice under.
Hope you get wet. How'd that water feel?
It's really cold. Shocking.
It's real cold.
She's up, and she's out there.
I thought I was there. That close. A foot off. I was right there. Next to the towel.
You're watching TVC, Traverse Visitors Channel. We're here at the History Center of Traverse City, located in the Carnegie Library on 6th Street, overlooking the beautiful Boardman River. This building was home to the Traverse City Library from 1905 to 1998, when they moved to their current location on Woodmere. Since this building was available and the space was much larger than their previous location at the Con Foster Museum, they moved here to consolidate their archives, store historical materials, and expand their exhibit space. Let's go inside. We're here with Museum Director Bill Kennis to tell us a little bit more about the History Center.
Behind me are the 19th century leaders of the Ottawa tribe. We are probably the #1 cultural destination in Traverse City. We had over 60,000 visitors last year. Well, we're featuring the legends of the Grand Traverse region, which tell the stories of the folks that made the difference in our community, whether they were a railroad legend or a lumberman. You know, Traverse City is primarily a railroad and a lumber town.
Bill, what's the most popular attraction at the History Center?
The cherry pits are clearly the most popular. You know, we have over 60,000 visitors that come to the History Center, and they can climb into literally a ton of cherry pits, 2,000 pounds, and they excavate, and they find arrowheads, Petoskey stones, copper ingots, all Michigan items, and they get to keep one of these as a souvenir. In the summertime, we feature our Lego festival called the Lego Carnival. The Lego Carnival features the building blocks of America. So this year we'll have the Statue of Liberty and the Mackinac Bridge. We have a close relationship with the Ottawa Indians out of Shabbytown, and they have loaned us a 25-foot birch bark canoe that's just sensational. It actually sailed in the Grand Traverse Bay. And we have hundreds of arrowheads and tools from the Anishinaabe. We also have canoes that are at least 200 years old, and they were carved out of logs. So there's lots of items that they can see from our heritage. Magical History Tour began last summer. It's a 90-minute, 9-mile tour around the city. And you'll hear stories about our former mayor, Wild Bill Germain, who actually shot a brother-in-law. You'll hear stories of the State Hospital and of the Grand Traverse Bay. So we take you through the business section of town and through the historic districts of our city. This bell is from the Manistee and Northeastern Railroad engine, number 18. It was the last one built, and our guests are able to ring the bell. Our archives department attracts the historians that are doing research, about 300 researchers a year. They're publishing books or doing their family genealogy. It was the only car company located in Traverse City. They manufactured cars and trucks, and the kids can learn about the Napoleon car and do a little photo op. For 100 years, this is the Carnegie Library, and it was adults only for adult research, and now we tell everyone it's for kids only, and they seem to like that. The Children's Cupola features trains, logging, and fur trapping and trading, so our younger visitors can appreciate our heritage and participate in these hands-on activities in the Children's Cupola. The charge for the museum is $5 for adults and children, and with that, they get to keep an item as a souvenir.
You're watching TVC, Traverse Visitors Channel.
Are you digging yourself into a hole and setting yourself up? Are you forever dealing with pinheads and staring straight down for hours at a time? Have you got the blues and maybe a large Swedish pimple? Then you must be ice fishing, one of the most popular winter sports in the Grand Traverse region, yielding fresh fillets of all shapes and sizes. Look closely about our abundant area lakes, and you'll discover a variety of ice shanties clustered around the best spots. Rental shanties in place on the ice are available by checking the bulletin boards of local bait shops. Or you can invest in one of the new portable units like the Marquette-made Super Shack, assembly required. Shanties are ideal for jigging and spearing in comfort, but not essential. Many fishermen set out a group of tip-ups and just hang out on the ice, waiting for that special signal. Of course, the first order of business is making holes, and a gas-powered, electric, or good old manual ice auger will do the trick. Got bait? Our minnow dealers and worm merchants are open early, and if you're out for bluegill, perch, or walleye, pick the creepy crawler of choice. There's that lovable larva, the mousy, the durable spikes, waxworms, and everyone's favorite, the wiggler.
When all else fails, put a wiggler on.
You can also use perch minnows or pinheads. If walleye, pike, lake trout, or muskellunge are your quarry, use the larger blues, grays, goldens, or suckers. Some jiggers may prefer to use a special lure or the patented Swedish pimple. Monster hunters will always use large decoys, painted or live, as they sit and wait, spear in hand.
Came in and sat about a foot from the decoy and eased the spear down and nailed him.
They only come out at night, and fishermen on Green and Crystal Lakes use lights, speed rollers, and pinheads to harvest swarms of the tasty smell.
Had days where we've got 400 in a couple hours.
Yeah.
For details on specific lakes, seasons, limits, and licenses, pick up a Michigan fishing guide from the DNR or a local tackle shop, It's time to get out and enjoy the great outdoors by putting yourself, family, and friends on ice. You won't be the only ones rising to the occasion.
Gonna lay around the ice shanty and put some good bait on.
Experience the great outdoors and embrace Mother Nature by exploring our area's many incredible natural preserves, open to the public year-round, free of charge. Many of these inspirational retreats feature protected, managed marked trails that offer adventure, exercise, and escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Learn details on these natural wonderlands at the Conservancy's websites for the best spots to hike, bike, birdwatch, canoe or kayak, cross-country ski or snowshoe, swim, fish, or even hunt. Both of our local groups, the Grand Traverse Regional Land Conservancy and the Leelanau Conservancy, schedule guided special events in all seasons showcasing the unique features, flora, and fauna of these places, many of which have been donated to preserve our forest, farmlands, dunes, and other natural landscapes far into the future for family, friends, and you, our welcome visitors.
You're watching Traverse Visitors Channel.
As I remember, the stone is very porous in appearance and has a variety of blue shades, from very gray blue to a very pale blue, and quite a variety of shapes.
It's waste material, which I don't like to think of it that way because it's so beautiful, but it's slag.
Leland had some other resources that were part of an iron smelting operation that this looked like a good deal. What Leland had was great access to forests of hardwoods that could be made into charcoal. Charcoal is needed to smelt iron ore and create what they call pig iron, or a very crude kind of iron that then needs to be shipped out to a place where actually, to iron foundry, where it's further refined and made into implements. Leland was at times a real boom town, just a small little village, which had gotten it started from being on the river, so they had access to water power to have a sawmill. Actually became a boom town because they had to bring in people to cut the hardwood to make the charcoal, and then they needed more men to load and unload the boats. So actually there was a great population boom where many people came to town.
A picture of Leland during the times when the ironwork buildings were still there. You can see the dome over on the right hand side. You can see the dome-like kilns or charcoal kilns that are where the Bluebird restaurant is now, and the Early Bird restaurant. And then there was a little tramway that took the charcoal down to the furnace.
A lot of these bluestones that we find, that I found, the larger ones like this and this, actually came out of fishnets, because bluestones was slag that was found at a byproduct of the foundry, and rather than trying to transport them anywhere, the easiest thing to do is take them out, dump them in the lake, and just that was their way of discarding them. So that's why there's so many of them all rolled up on the beach, and they're all nice and fine. But if you got them while they were in the lake, they were a much rougher form. The secret spot is Leland, because that's the only place that they were found.
Collected, and of course, the jewelry is being made from them now, which is quite beautiful.
You're watching TVC, Travers Visitors Channel.
What comes around, goes around. This 137-year-old China doll is proof. For the giver of this anonymous gift, over a half-century later, became the receiver of the brotherly love this unique antique represents. It all started in Northport in 1862, when the eldest son of William Voice, owner of the local sawmill, prepared to heed President Lincoln's call for soldiers to fight for the Union Army in the Civil War. The recruits called themselves the Lakeshore Tigers. Young William's little sister Abby, the youngest of the 5 Voice children, seemed unusually afraid for her brother's safety. To quiet her crying, William promised to bring her back a China doll. Soon he departed downstate to Camp Jackson, where, true to
You're
his
watching
little sister's
TVC,
premonition,
Travers
he
Visitors
caught
Channel.
typhoid fever and died on September 22nd. 4 days later, the steamer Buffalo returned his body in a metal casket. Fixed atop it was a small box with no card or note. It contained the head and shoulders of a China doll.
Days, I guess, mostly you made the clothes or made the body and the clothes for the doll. You just bought the head and the rest you made yourself.
The thoughtful women of Northport got together and completed the body and clothing for the doll. And on Christmas Eve at the log meeting house, it was presented to 3-year-old Abby. She named the doll Jeanette and treasured it always.
She would hold it, she'd let you touch it, but you didn't play with it because the China head, of course, if you dropped it, it would break and then you wouldn't have any doll.
So as little girls, you and your friends couldn't play with it?
No, we never even got to hold it. Grandma would hold it, you could touch it, but you couldn't hold it because you might drop it.
Over 60 years later, Abby had grown up, married, and moved to Traverse City, where she did hospice work. One day, she was helping a needy old soldier when he began to reflect upon his Civil War days and of a sick young man with him in a Jackson hospital. The dying man was delirious, begging anyone to buy him a China doll for his baby sister. Doctors and nurses ignored his raving, but the man had been touched. So he spent the last of his money on the head and shoulders of a China doll. He brought it to the bed of his sick comrade, who grew calm as he cradled the promised present. He died before morning. Abby later returned to the old soldier with Jeanette. "I was that man's baby sister, and here is the doll," she told him. The good turn had deserved another. Jeanette, now over 130 years old, was left by Grandma Abby to her namesake, Abby Morgan, who now lives in Lansing.
I knew I was getting the doll, yes. I always knew I was getting the doll. Grandma always told me when she was gone that I would have the doll because I was named after her, and my mother had told me that too. Anyway, it's a real privilege, and I really treasure her because it's was my grandmother's, and now it's mine. Everybody's real impressed. I think it touches almost everybody's heart, you know, because especially the part, like you say, after all those years, she finally found the gentleman that went and got the doll for her brother so that they could come home in the first place.
She may be made out of china and cloth, but the hearts of those who handled her were pure gold.
I'd say she's in good shape for 130.
You're watching TVC, Travers Visitors Channel.